Hello and welcome to Business 7. In the studio tonight, we're taking a look at what is happening at the Kombat mine in Namibia, as well as at the Daures Green Hydrogen Village, and we bring you the latest on the business and economics news in Africa. Please stay tuned.
Let me show you something. Don't worry. Next time, I check nice.
Thanks, but it's okay. FNB Insurance checks nicer.
At FNB Insurance, we provide cover for all your valuables, from your phone to your laptop to your car. FNB Insurance. You value it, we cover it. T's and C's apply.
It's been a busy week on the continent. Let's take a look at the 5 top business stories in Africa as compiled by Reuters.
Here's what's been making the business headlines in sub-Saharan Africa this week. China's CMOC Group has agreed to pay $800 million to Congo's Gécamine to end a dispute over royalties it pays to the state-owned miner. That relates to CMOC's Tenke Fungurumu mining operation, from which the company said last week it had resumed exports of copper and cobalt. Congolese authorities blocked exports in July 2022, following the dispute. Swiss food company Nestlé says it will be locally sourcing over 40% of raw materials for a new processing plant in South Africa to offset supply chain challenges and cut costs. That's as it opened a processing unit for Nescafé on Tuesday at its factory near Pretoria, as it moves to tap into an increasing demand for coffee consumption in South Africa. Also in South Africa, the country's electricity crisis is weighing on the financial results of the world's biggest producer of platinum group metals, or PGM. Anglo-American Platinum said on Monday that it had deferred production of 66,400 ounces of metal in the first half of the year due to power shortages, nearly 2% of the miner's total 2022 PGM output. That, and weaker metals prices, means Amplats expects its half-year profit to slump as much as 75%. A better picture, however, for Ethio Telecom. The state-owned telecoms company's chief executive said on Tuesday that profits more than doubled in its latest financial year to around $344 million, as revenue and subscriber numbers rose. Ethiopia's government is planning to sell a stake in Ethio Telecom of up to 45% in a revived privatization process. And finally, Britain has sanctioned 13 individuals and businesses in Central African Republic, Mali and Sudan, with links to Russia's Wagner Group. Among those sanctioned was the operational head of Wagner in Car and Mero Gold, which the UK said had imported equipment including weapons, helicopters and military trucks.
Canadian-based Trigon Metals will this week start producing copper concentrate at the Kombat mine in Namibia. The company's CEO and president, Jed Richardson, brings us up to speed.
Greetings, Trigon shareholders and other stakeholders. As you can see, change of scenery. I'm here in Kombat at the mine because this is a pretty big week. We are going to be cold commissioning the mill this week, so first time that the mill is turned back on. We'll be blasting about 10,000 tons of ore today, and we'll start feeding that into the mill. And we've got a lot of our pieces in place even for the underground. But I'd like to draw your attention to a press release that we've just released. And in that press release, we go through in detail the pieces that we have in place for operation, both the open pit and the underground. And as you can see, at the open pit, we're really done at this point. We've spent all of the capital, got all of the personnel in place, and we have all of our permissions and permits and environmental clearances. As you know, we've been mining for the last few months and building up our stockpile, but the mill turns on this week. And we'll be looking for our first concentrate shipments next month in August. And I can tell you things are looking very, very well. We have great looking ore on the ROM pad. The mineralization is very visible. We'll share some of those images on social media. And the mill is in great shape. Yes, we operated it last year, but we've used the last few months. We've improved the crushing circuit. We got two new crushers from Shanghai. Those are installed right now. We've been improving pumps and flow. Also, the flexibility of the mill has been increased. General efficiency and power consumption has been improved, and we're set up to really perform well over the next few months and through the next few years. You can take a look at how we are doing on the underground as well. You can see we've spent over $5 million on equipment for the underground, and we're making some really good progress there, and we're on track for startup next year. Just of note is that we do have just under $20 million US of capital on hand, and like I said, all the capital already spent on the underground. So take some time, do look at that press release. I think it does a good job of explaining where we are operationally. And then also stay tuned for the announcements of the mill startup this week, and first concentrate shipments next month. So as always, thanks for your attention. Stay tuned.
In the printed and online edition of Business 7, which is available as from today, we look at the upcoming Russia-African Summit, which of course starts tomorrow and Friday in St. Petersburg in Russia, and a lot of political and expert comment on what that would mean for the African continent. Of course, Russia, a very controversial topic, as is its president, Vladimir Putin. And in the meantime, it has been announced that Vladimir Putin will not be attending the BRICS summit slated for South Africa later in this year. This is Reuters.
South Africa says Russian President Vladimir Putin will not attend an upcoming summit of the BRICS nations in August, ending months of speculation about whether the country would arrest him on an international warrant. The summit presented a dilemma for South Africa and President Cyril Ramaphosa. As a member of the International Criminal Court, South Africa would have been obliged to arrest Putin for alleged war crimes by Russia during its invasion of Ukraine. The ICC issued an arrest warrant in March. It accuses Putin of the war crime of illegally deporting children from Ukraine.
Pretoria has gotten a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Political economist Ronak Golpada says the law is indisputable.
They would have had to arrest Putin had he arrived. Failure to do so would have landed Pretoria in a whole lot of hot water, not only in terms of the rule of law, but also in terms of the reaction from the business community and the international community. And so this outcome allows the Ramaphosa government to maintain its position as a government that respects the rule of law.
Ramaphosa had asked permission from the ICC not to arrest Putin, because to do so would amount to a declaration of war. The Kremlin denied telling South Africa that, but has said the warrant is legally void, as Russia is not a member of the ICC. South Africa says it is neutral in the Ukraine conflict, but has been criticized by Western powers for being friendly to Russia. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will attend the Johannesburg summit in Putin's place.
Every day, you make choices that make you legendary. Journey together with us on the path to securing your legacy as a member of the League of Legends. With the Select Platinum Bundle Fee Premium Bank offering, you will access tools that will enable you to thrive. If you earn 850,000 Namibian dollars per annum or more, you can apply for this offering today via bankvintage.com.na for only 447 Namibian dollars per month. Bank Vintage, a member of Capricorn Group.
On-site construction at Daures, so that is Namibia's first green hydrogen village, is going extremely well. This official video was released earlier this week, showing how the progress is going.
Hello Namibia, welcome to Green Hydrogen Village Phase 1. The 4 phase houses, and other side there you can see we are also busy with the training center and the laboratory, and on the other side you can see the grader is busy now with platform for greenhouse and for electrolyzer.
The treatment consists of a water treatment plant that provides water for potable use, agriculture and for hydrogen production. The raw water comes from boreholes that are here on site. There's about 70 cubes of water being produced for the agriculture, 10 for potable use and 10 cubes for hydrogen production a day. We have done some borehole testing and there is sufficient water for this first phase of the project, the pilot project. And yeah, so we'll be treating the water using reverse osmosis technology because it is quite high in TDS, so dissolved salts. And then after that, for the hydrogen production, we'll be using an ultra pure water production step, something like demineralization, which will utilize continuous electrodeionization. And all of this will be powered by renewable energy.
Hi, I'm Mario Kenko. I'm originally from UIS. It's a great honor to represent the Daures Green Hydrogen project. I'm employed by Nexus as a general worker, and this means a lot to me.
This is a great opportunity and a life-changing opportunity. I'm very much grateful for the Daures Green Hydrogen Village, as I'm not employed and I can contribute to my family.
Global diamond miner De Beers has announced that it has started production at its first site at the Venetia mine in South Africa. Reuters filed this report.
Global diamond giant De Beers on Tuesday reported the first production from its new $2.3 billion underground operations at its Venetia mine in South Africa. The company, a unit of Anglo-American, stopped its 30-year open-pit mining operations at Venetia in December 2022. That was so it could transition to the highly mechanized underground operation that it started developing 10 years ago. De Beers said in a statement that the underground project is currently 70% complete. It will produce around 4 million carats of diamonds annually, the statement said. De Beers produced 34.6 million carats in 2022, and its 2023 output is forecast in the 30 to 33 million range. The miner added that ongoing construction and a ramping up of production will extend the mine's life to at least 2045.
Zimbabweans are heading to the polls on the 23rd of August. What can one expect from the elections, and what will be the most important points that will be focused on? Reuters compiled this report.
An extended economic crisis and accusations of a government crackdown will once again be centre stage as Zimbabweans head to the polls on August 23rd. Here's what you need to know about the presidential and parliamentary elections. There are 11 candidates vying for the presidency, but this contest boils down to a clash between two people. On one side is 8-year-old incumbent President Emmerson Mnangagwa. On the other, Nelson Chamisa, the 45-year-old leader of the opposition Citizens Coalition for Change. Mnangagwa is a former spy chief who took over after Robert Mugabe was toppled in a 2017 military coup. He's seeking a second term after narrowly defeating Chamisa in a disputed 2018 election. Political analysts say the race is tilted in the favour of Mnangagwa and his ZANU-PF. It has governed Zimbabwe since 1980 and looks set to exploit its control of state institutions. State media gives little airtime to the opposition, and police routinely stop its campaign rallies. But Chamisa's CCC hopes to benefit from frustration over the top electoral issue in the country. That is, the economy. Hopes that it would rebound under Mnangagwa in the post-Mugabe era quickly faded. Zimbabweans have been left grappling with acute shortages of electricity and soaring prices. Year-on-year inflation reached 176% in June, among the highest in the world. The Zimbabwean dollar, reintroduced in 2019, depreciated by more than 80% this year. Unemployment remains high. Zimbabwe has also struggled to attract international capital to revamp infrastructure and sectors such as manufacturing, tourism, and mining. That's due to its $14 billion of foreign debt, nearly half of which is in arrears. To clear the debt, Zimbabwe needs to normalise ties with Western nations, with whom it fell out in 2000 over rights abuses, disputed elections, and the violent seizure of white-owned farms. Western governments say Mnangagwa has not implemented enough reforms to justify the full restoration of ties and financial support. Nevertheless, Mnangagwa says his government has created opportunities for locals by supporting their involvement in sectors such as mining and agriculture. His campaign speeches are often punctuated with nationalist rhetoric reminiscent of African independence struggles. Chamisa argues that Mnangagwa's policies favour a small, connected elite. He has promised to grow the economy, fight corruption, and end Zimbabwe's isolation. Some 6.6 million people are registered to vote, the Electoral Commission has said, higher than the previous poll in 2018. To win the presidency, a candidate needs to get more than 50% of the vote or face a runoff.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
That's it for Business 7 for this week. Thank you for joining us. We're playing out with the International Monetary Fund's video on its latest economic outlook, which was released earlier this week. Until next time, keep well.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.